I now have the distinct honor to request the Honorable Chief Minister of Balochistan to kindly come forward and address the audience.
Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honorable Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Pakistan, Honorable Judges, Honorable Federal Minister for Law and Justice, fellow Chief Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is a privilege to address the National Conference on Prison Reforms. The subject that brings us together speaks to the very conscience of our society, how we treat those who have fallen on the wrong side of the law, and whether we have the courage to believe that people can change. I begin by acknowledging the directions of the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan and the National Judicial Policy Making Committee under the National Prison Reforms Action Plan. Balochistan has taken these directions not as a formality, but as a charter for change. One we pursuing with the National United Nations standards, minimum rules for the treatment of prisoners, the Nelson Mandela rules as our benchmark. For too long, our prisons were understood as little more than places of confinement. Today, I'm proudly to say that Balochistan has chosen a different path. A fundamental shift from a custodial model towards a modern correctional service framework focused on rehabilitation, reintegration, and public safety. Prison reforms remains a priority area of our government's justice sector agenda. In close liaison with the Honorable High Court and the Honorable Chief Justice of Balochistan, we are implementing a comprehensive program to strengthen correctional administration across the province. This includes the effective management of 4 central prisons, 8 district prisons, and 22 judicial lockups ranging from Barkhan to Pasni and Jungle Piralizi to Jalmaksi. In line with the directions of the Honorable Chief Justice, practical measures have been initiated to place all judicial lockups under the operational management of the prison department, ensuring professional custody, improved security, enhanced accountability, and better protection of the rights and dignity of persons in detention. We remain committed to working in partnership with the judiciary to build a correctional system that is secure, humane, and fully aligned with the rule of law. This shift is now anchored in law through the Balochistan Prisons and Correctional Services Act 2026, which replaces our outdated colonial area statute and recognizing rehabilitation and reintegration as core objective of imprisonment itself. What we have already delivered, ladies and gentlemen, let me speak not in promises, but in results. Across the 12 prisons of Balochistan, over the last few years, we have put real resources behind reforms. Healthcare, we increased the medicine budget more than 6-fold from rupees 3 million to rupees 20 million, established mini labs and dental clinics, expanded the ambulances fleet to 13 and ran TB, HIV, and hepatitis control camps alongside mental health counseling. Infrastructure, Central Prison Gadani has been declared a modern prison under a rupees 1,000 million scheme. New prisons at Loralai, Kila Saifullah, Pashin, and Surab are being added. And a new central prison Quetta is planned to relieve overcrowding. Rehabilitation and digitalization in partnership with UNODC, we digitized prisoner records through the PMIS in 11 prisons, moving from manual registers to real-time dashboards. Vocational trainings in tailoring, computing, handicrafts, and trade is now offered with 8 schools of juveniles. Education and dignity, Inmates now sit examinations from matriculation up to master's level, earning statutory remissions. Over rupees 13 million was raised to pay diyat, fines and daman for needy petty offenders, and we are building a chapel for our Christians inmates. People and oversight, more than 600 officers and staff were recruited and trained, including on the Nelson Mandela rules and human rights. And a physical training center was established for capacity building. We have also legislated for life beyond the prison walls, the Balochistan Probation and Payroll Act 2026 with a rupees 500 million reformation and reintegration fund. Gives offenders a structured, supervised path back into society. Ladies and gentlemen, what is coming next? Passing a law is the beginning, not the end. Our immediate agenda is clear: to notify the rules and SOPs under the 2026 Act, to roll out the PMIS to every remaining prison, to extend CCTV and risk-based prisoners classification, and to strengthen healthcare, legal aid, and women's prisoners' facilities. We will establish a prison academy in Balochistan for proper pre-induction training and a dedicated women's prison in the province. Looking further ahead, we will expand prison industries and vocational centers, introduce e-monitoring and digital inmate management, established dedicated rehabilitation and de-radicalization programs, develop community correction and non-custodial sentencing, and build partnership with universities, civil society, and the private sector for reintegration. A shared responsibilities, ladies and gentlemen. Let me be candid. A society is not made safer merely by keeping people behind walls. It is made safer when those who leave our prisons return as responsible citizens rather than repeat offenders. That is the true measures of justice and the true purpose of the reforms: to protect society not by confinement alone, but by reforming offenders, reducing relapse, regress, enabling their productive return to the community. This is the national endeavor, and Balochistan is proud to contribute to it. I invite every institution represented here, the courts, the police, the prosecution, the welfare departments, and our partners in civil society and the international community to walk this road with us. I thank the Honorable Chief Justice and the NJPMC for their guidance, the Home Department and the Inspector General of Prisons for their leadership, and all of you for your commitment to this cause. May Allah guide our efforts and grant us success. Pakistan Zindabad.